So Panthers fans, I told you this offseason was going to be crazy, and here we are again, another day, another headline, because it seems like every other week or every other day, something new pops up according to this program and this franchise, and I have to make a video for it and address. And the latest thing is obviously Teddy Bridgewater going on a podcast and giving some insight about the Carolina Panthers practice style and Matt Rhule's practice style. Now, it set the Twitter universe and the Panthers fan base ablaze, and we're going to talk about all that in this video. Before we get into that, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. I start off every video by saying, "What up, dude?" And here on Necessary Bluntness, I give recap and analysis of the NFL. In particular, I got to show a little extra love to my Carolina Panthers, man. So if you want to see more videos about the Panthers and the NFL in general, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon when you subscribe, because the bell icon is going to make sure you get a notification. Make sure you hit the bell icon for all notifications, not just some of them, all of them. Because when I go live on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 7:30, you definitely want to be there, because we talk about everything that happens in the NFL, and we obviously discuss what's going on with the Panthers that week. So if you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on, gotta hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. And give this video a thumbs up too, because it doesn't really cost you a thing, and it really helps my video out in the algorithm. So I really appreciate that. But before I get into the video, I want to know how you guys felt about that, because like I said, Twitter and the Panthers fan base were set ablaze. How did you feel about the comments Teddy Bridgewater made? Let me know how you felt down below, because some people really felt like Teddy was throwing shade. He was just salty, and we shouldn't listen to anything he says, but maybe he has a point. So let me know down below in the comments how you felt about it. So by now, you've probably already seen the clip and the sound bite from Teddy Bridgewater, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it in here just in case to let you know to see, because Teddy went on, like I said, the podcast with Bryan, McFadden, and Peterson to talk about his time in Carolina, just reflecting back and what's going on with him in Denver. But I'll go ahead and play the clip right now.
And, as an organization, there's things that, you can do better as well. But I think, man, I'll just say this for Joe Brady's growth. I think, man, like, that organization, they'll have to just practice different things, in different ways. Like one of the things we didn't do much of when I was there, we didn't practice 2-minute really. We didn't practice red zone,
What?
So
it was the most important.
What?
That's
what
you
used to have a whole day devoted for 2-minute in red zone. That's Thursday practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess the game, man, is becoming about science, and trying to keep guys healthy. So, you didn't practice on Fridays there, but you walked through the red zone stuff. And then Saturday you come out and practice red zone, but you only get 15 live reps, and guys' reps will be limited. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the unknown, but, I'm a pro, man. I could sit up here and throw all of that out there, but at the end of the day, that won't.
As you can see, Teddy said they didn't put a ton of emphasis on red zone and 2-minute drill. And you can see the reaction from Bryan, McFadden, and Peterson. They're like, that's the most important part of the game. Like, we had whole practices dedicated to that, and you guys are talking about that you didn't put a ton up through it. You did walkthroughs only, and then maybe 15 reps total on Saturday. So they're kind of questioning why they only spent that much time. Now, Matt Rhule he's been given the benefit of the doubt by much of the fan base. You guys have been watching me. You know me. I'm not crowning Matt Rhule, Joe Brady, any of these guys until I see results. Everybody wants to build off what he said he did in college at Temple and Baylor. I'm not buying that. We've seen better college coaches than Matt Rhule come to the NFL and flop. Nick Saban is a way better college coach than Matt Rhule. He flopped. Steve Spurrier was a way better college coach than Matt Rhule. He flopped. So we've seen these college coaches get run up out of here before. So I'm not going to crown Matt Rhule. Now, everybody wants to say, oh, process-oriented, analytics, this, that, whatever. So everybody, it sounds good on paper. It sounds good. Matt Rhule talks real well, but nobody's really giving any insight until now. But a lot of people just felt like Teddy Bridgewater was just a scorned ex-lover, where he went somewhere else, he got done dirty, and he just kind of lying to say that. I'm going to say Teddy Bridgewater, everything we knew about him, first of all, he got a sportsmanship award from the media. The media, as bad as he got drugged through the mud this year, and I even gave my own share of hate, but he got a sportsmanship award. A sportsmanship award, meaning that he's been a good guy for them. He gives quality answers for them that they want to hear. A lot of people feel like Teddy had been throwing shots and shade all year. I'm not under that impression like that. I mean, Teddy, I think they brought him in as a nice guy because they know they could do stuff like this. They dangled him in trade talks all offseason, whether it's Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, even moving up in the draft, possibly to draft a quarterback. We've heard about Teddy possibly being on the move since day one. Just 1 year after they signed him to a 3-year contract. I was under the impression that these guys tried to tell us and sell us that Teddy Bridgewater was the answer. He had this repertoire with Joe Brady, so he was going to be able to be great and excel in this offense. 1 year later, y'all flip the script and try to make it seem like Teddy Bridgewater is the problem. So you guys, you just expected Teddy Bridgewater to sit tight and not say a word. I don't think it's Teddy Bridgewater being scorned. I think it's Teddy Bridgewater just saying his piece, because he did take a little bit of blame, but he also said that some of his shortcomings had to do with them not practicing certain things. And the proof is in the pudding. It may feel like, oh, Teddy's just throwing shade, a middle finger to Teddy, but the Panthers were 28 in touchdown red zone scoring percentage. That looks like something that probably didn't get practice. Everybody was like, oh, it wasn't everybody else's fault. It was Teddy. It was Teddy. Well, how is the Teddy expected to get better at being in the red zone if they don't practice being in the red zone? That's what I'm thinking. People want to blame Teddy for everything, but how can he get better at it if they don't work on it? And they're not putting enough emphasis on it. That shows, because we saw him try to jump over the pile against Green Bay and get knocked out when they said that he probably shouldn't have did that. We saw him miss DJ Moore wide open against the Vikings, and we had to settle for a field goal. We saw him miss certain opportunities where guys were open, and he just really couldn't hit them. Yes, Teddy does have some limitations, but if you practice with him, gave him stuff that he was comfortable with, maybe you do a little bit better. So not putting enough emphasis on it, it makes sense now. Like the numbers, what you see on the field, miscommunications, play clock running down to the last second sometimes, burning unnecessary timeouts in clutch situations in the red zone. It looks like we didn't put enough emphasis on it. And even in the 2-minute scenarios, we know Teddy 0-8 in these last second drives. It seemed like we kind of stuttered. Lots of times, sometimes we did move down the field. The Saints, we got to midfield, got sacked. Joey Sly missed a field goal. He threw an interception against the Falcons after missing some guys. There's a couple opportunities where Teddy just didn't execute. But there's other times where it just seems like we were jogging in place, and that could be because of lack of pressure and experience in doing it. Now, to give Matt Rhule the benefit of the doubt, with COVID, limited restrictions, all these Zoom meetings, maybe you don't have all the time to allocate to it. However, the red zone and 2-minute drill are some of the most important parts of the game. Offensively or defensively, the red zone is where you make your money. Whether you stop preventing guys from getting in the end zone or getting in the end zone. It doesn't matter how many 1,000-yard receivers you have or how many yards you put up. If you're not getting in the end zone, it doesn't matter. So not putting enough emphasis on it, you got to give a little blame to Matt Rhule also. Yeah, I understand. We know what Teddy is, though. A lot of people want to get at Teddy because of that, but we knew what Teddy is. They're the one that told us on it. They're the one that told us to trust his process. They believe in their process and all that. They even asked Matt Rhule about it at his press conference. Oh, I feel good about the way we do things. But I bet you they will put more emphasis on the red zone. If they didn't self-scout and see that they were 28th in the NFL and scoring in the red zone, if that didn't give you the kick in the rear to get your stuff together, then Teddy putting this stuff out in the atmosphere definitely will. And now all eyes are going to be on you guys because you sold us on Teddy. You got him out of there because you blamed him. You tried to scapegoat him. But now we're hearing that maybe everything is not hunky-dory with the way that you coach. So we're looking at you now, Matt Rhule. Now you got Sam Darnold, a guy that you try to sell to us that you could resurrect his career because he's in a better place and better weapons with a better franchise. But we can't say that we're that much better than these other franchises when we've only won 8 divisional games since we've been to the Super Bowl. And that's, 6 seasons? So we're not some just hunky-dory Patriots or the Steelers or some historic franchise that's so great. We're not that much better than the Jets. We're not pitiful like the Jets. But just for us to just look so down on it, just like, oh, Adam Gase and they had a poverty franchise. No. If you look at the numbers, we have not been successful in the division since Cam Newton left. We have not been that successful since the Super Bowl. You know, we haven't put together back-to-back winning season in franchise history. Why do people get this notion that we're just so much better than some of these other teams in the NFL? And why we get this notion that Matt Rhule is just such a great coach compared to some of the other guys in the NFL? Matt Rhule has not proved anything. He's only been in the league 1 year, but he hasn't proven anything. And this stuff on Teddy is just an indictment on him. So I think a lot of people that were drinking that Matt Rhule Kool-Aid, their feelings were hurt. I'm just going to say it. They were drinking the Matt Rhule Kool-Aid, and for somebody to say something about Matt Rhule's coaching style that was different than what they believe Matt Rhule to be. They think Matt Rhule is just some zip-tight, process-oriented coach that doesn't miss a beat on anything. For them to hear that he actually has some flaws and shortcomings, that says a lot. Now, this is not saying that Matt Rhule is just a bad coach and he can't get better. I mean, this may be the kick in the rear to get things going. Teddy has more NFL experience than Matt Rhule. So Teddy knows different styles, but he's been with some coaches like Sean Payton and Mike Zimmer, 2 coaches that are better than Matt Rhule, in my opinion. So he's seen other systems. He's been with North Turner, guys that have had success in his league. So he's seen what kind of emphasis you're supposed to put on certain things. Maybe his performance on the field hasn't always been the best, but he's seen different successful processes. I don't think he was that bad in the red zone when he was in New Orleans. So it can't just all be on Teddy. Coaching plays a factor too. And I think people are giving too much blame to Teddy. And I hate stuff like this because I'm not even a big Teddy fan. I'm glad it's done. I didn't like Teddy before. But y'all not going to sit here and just lie and act like Teddy's just making stuff up and pulling stuff out of the air. He gave way too many specific details about them only doing walkthroughs and then running 15 reps on Saturday. He's got to be something an elaborate lie for him to give that much detail about what's happening. And for Matt Rhule to be very, not even kind of dismissing the one to clear the record, for him to kind of dance around it, that tells me that there's some truth to that. That tells me there's some truth there. So we're not going to just put all this on Teddy. There's plenty of blame to go around for our faults and failures last year. Yeah, we were young, but we have some coaches that don't have a lack of NFL experience. Teddy Bridgewater had his shortcomings. We had a very young defense. Offensive line was spotty. So we can't put it all on Teddy. I know he's the quarterback and people just want him to take the blame and go away. But you can't keep mistreating these guys like you did Teddy and like you did Cam Newton and expect them not to speak up. Cam is confident in himself. Yeah, he had some subtle jabs on his YouTube channel talking about they gave up on me and this, that, or whatever. He didn't really go into details about everything. But Teddy Bridgewater is not, this is not a Teddy Bridgewater that we know. So when you push guys to a certain limit, they're going to speak up. The late, great Tupac said, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Teddy's not a big talker, but you push this man. You dangled him. You disrespected him. You blatantly put in public, tried to trade him after signing him to a 3-year deal, basically saying that he has physical limitations, that he needs to have a great offseason. That's disrespect. And just to think he was going to sit there on his hands and pout and just go home and pout, whatever. He didn't even really say anything bad, though. It's not like he just dissed him. He said that for Joe Brady to develop as an offensive coordinator, they need to put more emphasis on the red zone practicing. And that's completely fair. Because if they're not putting the emphasis on it, he's correct. Because Joe Brady did struggle with some play calls in the red zone at times. You can look up Joe Brady red zone on Twitter and go back to his LSU days. People are criticizing him at times then, even when they had the greatest offense in college football history. So there's plenty of accountability that needs to be had. And it's a lot of these fans that don't want to give it just because Teddy's not a Panther anymore. Don't mean to hit what he says doesn't hold weight. Yeah, we've seen some ex-Panthers go off at times. Steve Smith has said some things. D'Angelo Williams, for sure, has said some things after leaving because they're sour. But Teddy didn't really just throw shade. He was telling the truth. It seemed like to me there's got to be some truth. There's 3 sides to every story. What Teddy says, what Matt Rhule says, and what really happened. So it's somewhere in between. Do I think what Teddy said was 100% facts? It's a chance it could be. Did he embellish or lie a little bit? Maybe he didn't give all the details. Is there more to the story? Probably. But the truth is somewhere in between. So to me, we got to hold these guys accountable. Y'all got to, Matt Rhule is not Teflon. Matt Rhule's been in this league 1 year. I know he has a 7-year contract, but David Tepper has a lot of money. And if Matt Rhule's not getting it done, he will get him up out of here. So all eyes are going to be on those guys this upcoming season, especially this offense, especially in red zone and 2 minute. Because they're selling us on Darnold. They're selling us. They're trying to gaslight us and tell us that Darnold's going to be the answer because he has all the tools. And he has all his plays that wow you. Like he doesn't make stupid mistakes also. So we'll see. But you guys got to make sure that you don't look through rose-colored glasses. Be objective. I'm loyal to the Panthers also. But you got to look at both sides of it, man. But you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about all this, man. Are you mad at Teddy? Do you think there was some truth to it? Let me know down below in the comments. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.